Here polarity cannot be developed, so no resonance effect also can be shown. Rich growth of all the plants which will happen. See, what do you mean by critical micelle concentration? So you are supposed to find out what was the concentration of magnesium chloride in which particular order of the reaction. T half is independent of the, so after converting into centimeter, even if it removes 2 sodium ions, but it produces only 1 vacancy. The metal nitrate that liberates NO2 on heating is, we have got sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, lithium nitrate and rubidium nitrate. We know that there is an exception or anomalous properties of lithium nitrate. That's the only one which can liberate nitrogen dioxide. Okay, so the answer is lithium nitrate. If you want me to write the reaction, I shall do so. It is LiNO3, lithium nitrate will give Li2O plus nitrogen dioxide as well as oxygen gas, whereas the other 3 options which you have got, I'll write for sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate will liberate or form NaNO2 nitrite with liberating oxygen. Okay, so that's about the reaction. I haven't balanced the equation. You just need to know what is the, which is the one which liberates nitrogen dioxide gas. The answer is lithium nitrate. Okay, next one. Which of the following is not true regarding the usage of hydrogen as a fuel? High calorific value, combustion product is eco-friendly, the combustible energy of hydrogen can be directly converted to electrical energy in fuel cell, or hydrogen gas can be easily liquefied and stored. So what they are telling is, you have to find out which is not true regarding usage of hydrogen as fuel. It is very difficult to liquefy hydrogen gas and store it. So this is not true about using hydrogen as fuel. Okay, rest all are the correct options which is there. Okay, next one. Resonance effect is not observed in. They have given us different structures. We are supposed to tell which is not showing resonance effect. If you see the option A and C, you can observe that they have got alternating double bond. That is, if this moves over here, the double bond will come here and you will get the resonating structure as CH2 plus single CH double bond CH C CH2 with a negative sign. Correct? So this shows resonance effect. Here if you see, chlorine has got lone pair of electrons. Electron will form bond. Bond can come to form charge. So you will get CH2 with negative charge, single CH. Then you have double bond Cl with a positive charge. So this is the resonance effect is shown again. Next, if you see, observe this. Again, nitrogen is most electronegative, so it can pull up over here and this can come over here. You will get CH2 with positive, again CH double bond C, then you have double bond N with a negative charge. Again, resonance is shown. Only in option D, you do not get a resonance here because you don't have a double bond over here at all. Okay. So that is the reason D is the correct answer, which does not show resonance effect. And also polarity is also not developed because of the interaction of pi bond. Here polarity cannot be developed, so no resonance effect also can be shown. So that's about question number 43. 44. 2-butene is reduced to trans-but2-ene using hydrogen with nickel, hydrogen palladium with carbon, it is written, sodium in liquid ammonia, zinc in dilute HCl. So you want 2-butene, we have CH3, C, triple bond, C, and then you have CH3. So this is 2-butene structure. 2-butene should be reduced to give trans 2-butene. I should get trans 2-butene, that is hydrogen, CH3 and CH3. I have to get the trans structure. Hydrogen should get added up to both the carbon atom, and also it should give only trans, not cis. So which is the catalyst which we are using? As it is reduction and you have to get trans butene, the correct answer is sodium with liquid ammonia is the correct answer. Okay, sodium with liquid ammonia is the correct answer. This particular catalyst called as Lindlar catalyst will give cis form. It will give only cis form and not trans form. Okay, so that's about 44th question. 45, eutrophication causes increase of nutrients in water, reduction in dissolved oxygen, reduction in water pollution, decreased BOD. Eutrophication will cause reduction in dissolved oxygen. When there is lot of nutrient present in water, there is a rich growth of all the plants which will happen, and all the oxygen will be utilized there, and the dissolved oxygen becomes less in the water and it will affect the aquatic animals. This is known as eutrophication. Okay, so reduction of dissolved oxygen will happen in eutrophication. Next question. Which is the wrong statement? Rate constant K is equal to Arrhenius constant A if EA is equal to 0. ln K versus 1 by T plot is a straight line. E to the power minus EA by RT gives the fraction of reactant molecules that are activated at a given temperature. Presence of catalyst will not alter the value of EA. So it's very obvious, it is option D. Presence of catalyst will always alter the activation energy by giving rise to a new path. Okay, so this is the wrong statement. All of the others are right. If you know the concept very clearly, you will get to know A, B, C are the correct options. Okay, next one. 1 liter of 2 molar acetic acid is mixed with 1 liter of 3 molar ethanol to form an ester. The rate of reaction with respect to the initial rate when each solution is diluted with an equal volume of water will be. So they are asking you to find out about the rate of the reaction, okay, when there is dilution which is happening. Okay, so first we'll write the expression rate is equal to K into molar concentration of CH3COOH into molar concentration of C2H5OH. Both I'll consider it to be first order, so the order will be 2 here. Okay, so first what they have given, this is rate 1, first condition I am going to take. So K is equal to, rate constant should be constant there, 1 liter of 2 molar. So molarity is 2 mixed with 1 liter of 3 molar. Both are 1 liter but molarity is different. So here I will get R1 is equal to 6K. Okay, this is my first condition. What did they do next? The rate of the reaction with respect to initial rate when the solution was diluted with equal volume of water. They have diluted with equal volume of water. I'll consider 1 liter was there. So 1 more liter when they added, the molar concentration reduced by half. Do you all agree? 1 liter was present, for that 1 more liter equal volume of water they have added, so the molar concentration is reduced by half. So what will be the rate? Rate 2 is K into 2 by 2, equal divided by half, so divide by half I am doing, 3 by 2. So I will get it as R2 is equal to K 3 by 2. Okay. Now I have to find out with respect to initial rate how many times this has changed, okay, whether it is changed by 0.25 times, 0.5 times, 2 times or 4 times. So I will have to take the ratio to find out the exact answer. So I will take it as R2 by R1. What is R2? 3 by 2k by 6k. K and k gets cancelled. So R2 by R1 is equal to 3 by 2 into 1 by 6, that is 1 by 4, that is 0.25 times. So the answer is option A, 0.25 times. Okay. So that is 47th question. Next one, which of the following is an example for homogeneous catalysis? Homogeneous catalysis means the reactant as well as the catalyst should be in the same phase. Either both should be gases or both should be liquids or both should be solids. Okay. So here the first one you see, oxidation of NH3 in Oswald's process. In Oswald's process, we have gas NH3 gas reacting with oxygen in the presence of platinum rhodium catalyst. Platinum rhodium is solid and these are gases, so it is heterogeneous. Oxidation of sulfur dioxide in lead chamber process. Okay. What is this lead chamber process? Here you have sulfur dioxide reacting with oxygen in the presence of nitric oxide to give sulfur trioxide. So this is also a gas, this is also a gas, and this is also a gas. So reactant as well as the catalyst is all gases. So option B is the correct answer. Why not option C? We'll see. Oxidation of sulfur dioxide in contact process. In contact process, the reaction is same, but the catalyst what we are using is vanadium pentoxide. So it is not the correct answer. Vanadium pentoxide is a solid. Okay. And last we have manufacture of ammonia by Haber's process, in which we are taking nitrogen with hydrogen in the presence of iron and molybdenum. Okay. Iron catalyst, molybdenum promoter if we have taken, or the newest version, that is potassium oxide and aluminum oxide, which is acting as the promoter. But we have got iron or iron oxide is the catalyst. Correct. So it is also solid. So again it is heterogeneous. So we have A, C and D are heterogeneous catalysis, but B is homogeneous catalysis. Okay. Next one, critical micelle concentration of soap is 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole per liter. Micelle formation is possible only when the concentration of soap solution in mole liter is. See, what do you mean by critical micelle concentration? Critical micelle concentration means it's a concentration above which micelle formation is possible. Okay. So critical micelle concentration they have given, it is 1.5 into 10 power minus 4 mole per liter. Now, if the concentration is above that, then only there can be micelle formation. So, you have to search an option in which the concentration is above 1.5 into 10 power minus 4. So, we will see the first option, 20 into 10 power minus 3. Option B, 7.5 into 10 power minus 5, this is lesser. 4.6 into 10 power minus 5 is lesser. 1.1 into 10 power minus 4, again it is lesser. Here it is 1.5, here it is 1.1. So which is the correct answer? It is option A, which is 20 into 10 to the power minus 3, where the concentration is higher than 1.5 into 10 power minus 4, and thus micelles will be formed. Okay. So that's about 49th question. 50th one, oxidation state of copper is +1 in malachite, azurite, cuprite and chalcopyrite salt. Okay. So which one is showing +1 oxidation state? First I will write the formulas here. Azurite, it is CO3, CO3 2 OH2. Okay. Then you have malachite, which is Cu2 CO3 OH2, and then you have cuprite Cu2O and chalcopyrite CuFeS2. Okay. So now oxidation state is +1 in. Okay. If you see the oxidation state, very simple, just calculate for this, you will know 2x plus minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to plus 1. So the answer is cuprite. Answer is cuprite. Okay, that's about 50th question. Next, relative lowering of vapor pressure of a dilute solution of glucose dissolved in 1 kg of water is 0.0002. The molality of the solution is, you are supposed to calculate the molality, okay, but they have given us relative lowering of vapor pressure of a dilute solution of glucose dissolved in 1 kg of water. So mass of water is 1 kg, okay. Dilute solution of glucose, relative lowering of vapor pressure is 0.002. You are supposed to find the molality of the solution. Relative lowering of vapor pressure with the mole fraction, okay. So we'll write that. So here P naught minus P by P naught is equal to mole fraction W2 by M2, mass by molecular mass, okay, into, here it is molecular mass by mass, okay. So 2 is solute, this is the solvent. Here this value is 0.002. W2 by M2 I don't know, it is glucose, M2 I can find out, but I am not going to substitute for a particular purpose. You can see I am just keeping it as it is. This is solute, mass of the solute by molecular mass. Here mass of the solvent, molecular mass is 18, mass is 1000, correct, because it is 1 kg of water, okay. So if I solve this, W2 by M2 I am keeping it as it is 0.002 into 1000 by 18. This I will get it as 0.11, okay. That is W2 by M2 is 0.11. Now what is molality? Molality is M is equal to W2 by M2, that is mass by molecular mass, number of moles of solute by mass of solvent in kg. Already it is given, my solvent is in 1 kg, I don't have to write, or it is divided by 1. So W2 by M2 is what? 0.11. So molality is 0.111. So the answer is option B. Okay. So I hope you have understood how to solve this. It's quite simple. Next one. 1 liter solution of magnesium chloride is electrolyzed completely by passing a current of 1 ampere for 16 minutes 5 seconds. The original concentration of magnesium chloride solution was what? So you are supposed to find out what was the concentration of magnesium chloride solution, okay. What they have given us is 1 liter of magnesium chloride was electrolyzed by passing how much current? 1 ampere current is passed for how long? 16 minutes 5 seconds. You already know what is I, you already know what is T. So you can find out about the quantity of current which is passed, that is Q. Q is equal to IT, okay. Once you get that, then you can calculate the concentration of magnesium chloride solution by using the equation. So Q is equal to IT. What is I1? What is T? It is 965 seconds. See, there are 16 minutes and 5 seconds. So I have to convert it. 16 minutes 5 seconds. It is 16 into 60 plus 5, which is nothing but 960 plus 5, that is 965. Okay, so 965, so 965 coulombs of current is passed. Now from the equation, what do I get to know? Magnesium is in +2 state, it accepts 2 electron to give 1 mole of magnesium. So 1 mole of magnesium requires 2 electrons, 2 moles of electrons, means 2 into 96,500 coulombs. But how much coulomb current I should pass? Okay, I have passed only 965 coulombs. So how many moles of magnesium is present? Okay, that is 965 into 1 divided by 2 into 96,500. Okay, so I will get it as 1 by 200, which is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 molar. So the answer is option A. So the answer is option A. I hope you have understood this. There are several methods to solve this. This is the most easiest and shortest method which can get you the answer very quickly. Okay. So that is about 52nd question. Next we have an aqueous solution of copper sulfate is subjected to electrolysis using inert electrodes. The pH of the solution will, see, you have copper sulfate solution, aqueous solution. So you have to tell whether the pH of the solution will increase or decrease or remains unchanged or increases or decreasing depending on the strength of the current. Okay. So aqueous solution of copper sulfate subjected to electrolysis using which electrode? Inert electrodes. So what are the ions you have? Cu plus 2 ions and H plus ions from water, and I have SO4 2 minus ions and I have OH minus ions. Okay. More precisely I will have to write H3O plus ions over here, but then still what is getting liberated? It has got higher electrode potential plus 0.34. So copper will get liberated at cathode, whereas at anode what will happen? At anode, sulfate or OH minus, of course oxygen will get liberated and sulfate forms S2O8 2 minus, which is not getting liberated because of its again electrode potential. So what will happen is H plus ion will remain as it is in the solution, okay, and what will happen to the pH? When H plus ion concentration increases, pH will decrease. So the answer is pH will decrease. Okay. So that's about 53rd question. Next one, given E naught of Mn plus 7 to plus 2 state is 1.5 volt, E naught of Mn plus 4 to plus 2 state is 1.2 volt, then E naught of Mn plus 7 to plus 4 state is how much? So here they have given Mn in plus 7 to Mn in plus 2 state. It has to accept 5 electrons and E naught is 1.5 volt. Here Mn from plus 4 state to Mn from plus 2 state, they have to accept 2 electron and E naught is 1.2 volt. I will take this as 1, this as 2 I will take. I have to find out Mn plus 7 to Mn plus 4 state, you have 3 electron difference, E naught I am supposed to find out. Here I can use the formula delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught of the cell. So if for this equation delta G naught 3 I will write for this equation is equal to delta G naught of 1 minus delta G naught of second equation, because it is plus 7 to plus 4. Okay. So here what is delta G naught of 3? Minus 3 F E naught of cell, which is equal to, here what is G1? It is minus 5 F E naught 1 minus 2 F E naught 2. Minus into minus it is plus, and I will get it as F is common here. So I can just remove the common one out and cancel it. So it will come as minus 3 E naught of the cell, or E3 I can write, which is equal to minus F E naught 1 plus 2 E naught 2. Again rearrange to remove the negative signs. It will be 3 E naught 3 is equal to 5 E naught 1 minus 2 E naught 2. Okay. So 3 E naught 3 is equal to 5 into 1.5 minus 2 into 1.2. Therefore, E naught is 5 into 1.5 minus 2 into 1.2 divided by 3. So, the answer is 7.5 minus 2.4 divided by 3, that is 5.1 divided by 3, that is 1.7 volt. So, the answer is option B. Again, it's a little higher level question. If you can do it mentally, you need not write all of these steps. What you can do is, you just know from plus 7 to plus 5, 5, here it is 2, from 7 to 4 it is 3. Okay, directly you will be writing this formula and you can get the answer. Okay, directly you can solve, you don't have to write every step and take such a long time to solve the problem. Next one we have 55th one. The plot of T half versus R naught for the reaction is a straight line parallel to x axis. The unit for the rate constant. See, I have T naught versus R naught. Sorry, T half versus R naught. I am getting a straight line. Okay. Now, what does it mean? R naught is not affecting the half-life. In which particular order of the reaction T half is independent of the initial concentration? It is first order. What is the formula? T half is equal to 0.693 by K. Here you don't have the initial concentration at all. Correct, no? So, first order reaction, what is the unit for rate constant? Per time. So, where is it? It's per second. Option D. Correct? Got it? So, that's about 55th question. Next you have, which of the following is a network crystalline solid? They are asking you network crystalline solid. We'll see the options: I2, NaCl, AlN and ice. In the options, ice is hydrogen bonded solid, NaCl is ionic solid, I2 is non-polar molecular solid, hence AlN is the one which is network crystalline solid. Okay. Next one, the number of atoms in 2.4 grams of body centered cubic crystal with edge length of 200 picometer is, they have given the density, they have given Na, that is Avogadro's number. They are asking you to find out number of atoms. So, before I have to find out the number of atoms, I will have to find out the molecular mass. Once I know the molecular mass, then I can calculate the number of atoms. Okay. So, here use the formula D is equal to Z m by A cube into Na. I will write directly the rearranged form, that is m is equal to D into A cube into Na by Z. Okay. So, we have, what is density? 10. A cube, that is A is 200 picometer. I will convert it, pico is 10 power minus 12, then I have to convert into centimeter because it is gram per cm cube density. So, after converting into centimeter, 200, again I will remove the 2 zeros. So, it will become 2 into 10 to the power minus 8 whole cube. Okay, into 6 into 10 to the power 23 divide by BCC, Z is 2. So, I will get 2 and 1 of the 2's gets cancelled. So, 10 into 2 2's are 4, 4 into 6 into 10 to the power minus 1. Okay. So, the answer which we are going to get for molecular mass is 24 grams per mole. Correct? Now, I know the molecular mass. So, 24 grams has 6 into 10 to the power 23 number of atoms. Now, 2.4 grams will contain how much? So, 6 into 10 to the power 23 into 2.4 divide by 24. Move 1 point, 24 and 24, 10 to the power minus 1. So, 6 into 10 to the power 22 is the answer. So, answer is option A, 6 into 10 to the power 22. Okay. Next one, 1 mole of NaCl is doped with 10 to the power minus 5 moles of strontium chloride. The number of cationic vacancies in the crystal lattice will be. See, for NaCl, when it is doped with strontium chloride, which has got Sr plus 2, for every strontium, 2 sodium ions are removed. Okay, but then one of the vacancy, now 2 sodium ions which was there, it will be removed, completely removed. This is removed, this also is removed, and one of the vacancy is taken up by Sr plus 2. So every strontium ion will produce one vacancy. So every strontium, even if it removes 2 sodium ions, but it produces only one vacancy. Correct? So they are asking number of cationic vacancy in a crystal is, it will be equal to the number of moles of strontium chloride which we have added. So how much of strontium chloride we have added? 10 to the power minus 5 moles. Correct? So they are asking number of cationic vacancy. 1 mole is equal to how many vacancies it can give? 6.022 in 10 power 23 vacancies it can give. Correct? So 10 to the power minus 5 moles is equal to how many? It is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into 10 to the power minus 5. That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 18. So the answer is option A. It will give so many cationic vacancies. Okay. 59th question. A non-volatile solute A tetramerizes in water to an extent of 80%. 2.5 grams of A, okay, so this is the solute in 100 grams of water. So this is the mass of solvent, lowers the freezing point by 0.3 degrees Celsius. The molar mass of A in mole per liter is, you have to find out. You have to find out what? Molecular mass. But what have they given? They have given that A will tetramerize in water to extent of 80%. So how do we calculate? When it is told that it is tetramerizing, N will be equal to 4 and 80% means alpha will be equal to 0.8 and N will be equal to 4. So first I have to find out I, that is Van 't Hoff's factor I. So alpha is equal to I minus 1 by 1 by N minus 1. So you have to just substitute here, 0.8 is equal to I minus 1 by 1 by N is 4 minus 1. So if I solve this I will get it as 0.4. Okay. Now what we do is, you have got I, you are supposed to find out the molecular mass. So molecular mass M2 is equal to W2 by W1 into 1000 by delta TF into KF. So what is solute? The mass of solute is 2.5, mass of solvent is 100, 1000, delta TF is 0.3 into KF is 1.86 into, here I have forgotten to write I, into I factor, I is 0.4. Okay. So if I solve this, I will get the answer as 62. You have to just round off and solve it very simply. You will get the answer as 62, which is the molecular mass of the non-volatile solute. So we have the last question. I will read the question for you all. Solution A contains acetone dissolved in chloroform and solution B contains acetone dissolved in carbon disulfide. The type of deviation from Rolle's law shown by solution A and B respectively are. So what do we have in solution A? Solution A, we have acetone plus chloroform. Okay, and in solution B we have acetone with carbon disulfide. So here what happens is, acetone we have this structure CH3 and CH3. Chloroform we have CHCl3. Okay, between hydrogen and oxygen there is hydrogen bond which is present. So when I mix acetone and chloroform, between acetone particles there is a intermolecular force of attraction. Between chloroform there is an intermolecular force of attraction which is weaker, okay, compared to when we have mixed them. So when we have mixed them, there is hydrogen bond, so force of attraction becomes more, and thus it will show negative deviation. It will show negative deviation from Rolle's law. Okay, whereas acetone and carbon disulfide, when I am mixing with them with each other, acetone and acetone has a stronger force of attraction. Carbon disulfide and carbon disulfide has a stronger molecular force of interaction when compared to between acetone and carbon disulfide. Hence it will show a positive deviation. So which is the correct answer? Solution A will show negative and solution B will show positive. So we have negative and positive deviation, that is option D is the correct answer. So I hope you have understood all the questions which have been solved for Karnataka CET 2019 chemistry question paper. See you once again very soon. Stay updated, stay tuned.